Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I have with me a brand new project, a top 100 by coin market cap list. Let me start that again. Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I have with me a project that's on the top 100 coin market cap list. They've never been on my channel before, so I'm very excited to have them on and grateful that they've taken the time to do this. Now, before I introduce this person, please subscribe, comment, like. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. That will make a difference. And also, I'm hoping to cover this project again and again and again. So subscribe to make sure and click the notification bell. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please come over to BitTube because I post my videos first on BitTube. And that's because of YouTube shadow banning. Follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, and join my Telegram announcements channel. All the links in the description below. Interested in cryptocurrencies but don't know how to get started or which projects are worth investing in for the short term, medium term, or long term? Leverage human experts, data, and machine learning to become a better crypto investor with Tokenmetrics. Sign up with my link and get 10% off and secure your financial future with cryptocurrencies now. Hey, Matt, thank you so much for making yourself available.
Hey, it's great to be here, Rich. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. You are in a cloudy part of the United States, and I'm in sunny England, and the roles are reversed right now because I have your weather and you have my weather.
Yeah, it's weather's a funny thing nowadays,
Yes. Now, what is it that you do at this project, which I haven't mentioned yet? We'll do that in a moment.
So I am on the community relations side, so a lot of interfacing with community members and producing content to kind of amplify the message of what we're doing, and really kind of drive awareness and kind of nurture people growing within the community.
Right. Okay. And then the project is Nervos, Nervos, and the website is nervos.org, and I'll have all the links in the description below. And it came into the coin market cap, seemed to me like out of nowhere. A few months ago or something. Is that right?
Yeah, there was a large public sale back in, I think, like October, November. So the network, when the network launched in November, it was top 100 already. I think it launched at 70 or something like that.
All right. So you did an ICO or an IEO or an STO? What did you do?
Yeah, public sale. I guess technically ICO would be the right term. Yeah.
And how much did you raise?
70. I think it was 72 million in the public sale.
72 million. Now, was that from private investors or?
I think a good deal of it did come from private investors. There was a private round in early 2018 that was, I think, 30 some odd VCs. So I think the institutional support for the project is pretty strong.
Right. Okay. 70 million in the tail end of 2019. That's quite. I'm impressed. That's quite something. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it about Nervos, in a few choice sentences or phrases that makes it so special that people threw their money at it?
I think the team has done the founding team kind of demonstrated a ton of competency and connections within crypto. They've founded Spark Pool, which is the largest, I think, one of the largest Ethereum mining pools in the world. ALTCOIN, which is a very prominent wallet, and done a lot of kind of enterprise blockchain development previously. All the founders are based out of, the founding team's kind of strong in China, and I think like the core developers. So I think institutionally, I think that exposure to Asian markets and that kind of local focus, I think that's big. But I really think it is the competency of the team and the connections that they bring. I think especially in mining communities, I think that's one thing. Like Nervos is a POW chain, and I think I've really seen through the experience of launching that chain how important it is to have those relationships within mining communities. And I think overall the prospects for the project look really good.
Okay, and you said it's a proof of work coin. It has its own chain.
That's correct.
And is it a fork of something or a brand new creation?
Brand new creation. I mean, I'm sure we'll go at length into what makes it different. But it is, from the ground up, a completely new chain.
Okay, so what makes it different then, Matt?
So
cue me.
Fundamentally, the intention is to do, say, Ethereum-like things with a Bitcoin-like chain. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So it's a smart contract. So like Bitcoin and Litecoin and Monero are currencies,
Correct. Yeah.
ways of exchanging value. And then you've got platforms like Ethereum and Komodo and Cardano. And is it that Nervos occupies that space?
Yeah. So the idea is when you have a chain that only does currency, there's certain I guess simplicity compared to when you have a chain that does a lot more. Mm-hmm. So in terms of security models, things like that, it's easier to reason about the security of just a pure currency chain. And then when we introduce smart contracts, it's not just the complexity from the smart contracts themselves, but actually complexity of what it takes on the chain to run those smart contracts. So the idea has been to kind of develop a model that is more closely related to, say, Bitcoin than Ethereum, in order to deliver a more secure and actually more efficient blockchain.
And how is it more secure and more efficient? Because Bitcoin is slow and clunky.
Yeah, and it does a great job at what it sets out to do. I think the simplest example we can look at, and Cardano also takes a similar approach. So if anyone's familiar with what they're doing, that may help to ease the learning curve. But mm-hmm. the simplest example we can think about is an ERC20 token. So if you have Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is yours. It's just, you need your key to get that Bitcoin in, like, end of story, right? Now, if you have an ERC20 token, you use your key to then talk to a smart contract, which the smart contract then, actually owns that asset. The smart contract has all of the balances. And if there's ever a, bug in the smart contract, your balance can actually go to somebody else because the smart contract's just acting, how it's programmed. But on Nervos, those tokens that you have actually are locked to your key. They're not controlled by the smart contract. They're controlled by your key, which then if you were to do anything with those tokens, it needs to go through some validation on a smart contract. But the key there is that, those assets actually need to be unlocked by your key. And if they're not, then they're not going to move.
Okay, but isn't that a little bit like, I've got some ERC20 tokens. They're in my Ether wallet. Mm-hmm. I got the private key. It's only up to me if I can move them and stuff. I've got some in Exodus. I may not be able to see all of them, but they're in my Ethereum wallet in Exodus.
Yeah.
So what's the difference with what Nervos is doing?
So what happens if there's a bug on that smart contract? So that the smart contract actually holds, say, like, all of the, ERC20 tokens, for that contract, all of the owners, like, the smart contract is in control of those tokens. Like,
right.
All of those balances are just kind of owned by the smart contract. So if there's a bug in the smart contract that allows a different user to, withdraw those tokens, then your tokens have actually moved. And right. On Nervos, that's not possible. If those tokens are locked to your key, they're going to stay there, until something happens with your key to unlock them.
Right. Okay. No, I get it, because
it's a subtle difference, but yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. That makes a difference. Okay. And what about in terms of speed of transactions, scalability? How does Nervos fare there?
Yeah. So this is actually a bit of a, I would say, bold decision in 2019, 2020 to say we're going to intentionally make the layer one chain slow, and, comparing to kind of newer blockchains, low TPS. And the reasoning behind this is if we have high TPS on, the layer one blockchain, we're going to increase the computational requirements to actually, validate those transactions, run a node. And that can decrease the decentralization of the network. So we want to, again, going back to the ideas of Bitcoin, we want to scale Nervos with layer two systems. So things like Lightning or Plasma, all this different layer two research. And we want to use that to alleviate the burden on that layer one blockchain. And so this allows us to stay with proof of work and also to allow anyone to validate the chain on their kind of consumer grade laptop versus needing kind of high spec hardware in order to validate the chain.
Okay, so can it be mined on a CPU?
No. At this point, the mining has gone kind of completely ASIC.
Right.
We went through an FPGA period, but then a couple manufacturers came out with ASIC. So yeah, you need specialized hardware at this point.
Okay. So then, how can somebody with a CPU with a computer validate the network?
Well, because when you're running a node, you're only validating the POW. You're not actually adding blocks to the chain. You're just validating the history.
Okay. And is there any minimum number of they're called CKB coins,
Yes.
right? Not NRVS or anything like that, right?
Correct. So CKB stands for Common Knowledge Base, and then the CK. Well, I could actually be clearer there. There's Common Knowledge Base, which is kind of technical jargon for the blockchain, and then there's Common Knowledge Byte, because that CKB token actually entitles you to storage on the blockchain, which gets into a whole nother topic around the design of the chain and the network. So if you own, say, 1 million CKB, you can store 1 million bytes of data on the blockchain.
Right. Okay. And then as products are built and rolled out, that would have an upward pressure, that would increase the demand for CKB coins.
Yes, and also increases the value of that mining reward, because similar to Bitcoin, that mining reward is fixed and halves every 4 years. So as more assets and adoption kind of comes in, then your mining reward is increasing, which is increasing the security of the network. So we've looked at kind of the economic security model of Bitcoin, and the idea is to emulate that on a smart contract platform.
Right. Okay. All right. And then what sort of applications can be built on? Actually, before I ask that, let's just pause. What about the transaction speed and the costs of the transaction?
Yeah, so at this point, the costs of the transactions are relatively low because demand to actually use the chain is low. But as those blocks fill up, congestion increases, the price will go up. The idea is, if we're moving the majority of transactions to layer 2, then it shouldn't be an issue if transactions get expensive on layer
1. Right.
And as far as transaction processing speed, the block time is variable. It kind of can vary anywhere between 7 and 45 seconds. And I would say, probably, 10 to 20 minutes is probably kind of like an acceptable kind of, confirmation window at this point, what people are using. But yeah, the kind of more to the crux of your question, the idea is for layer 1 to kind of be slow and secure versus kind of like some of these newer ideas in smart contract platforms that we want to kind of jam through as many transactions as fast as possible.
Right. That will come with layer 2. All right. And then what sort of applications can be built on Nervos and have been built?
Sure. So today we're very much in an infrastructure kind of level phase. So there's a lot of work around making it easy for people to launch side chains or roll-up based networks or chains, which is a very popular kind of scaling solution in Ethereum today. We also work on payment channels. So, today looking at building a dApp, it's not great. There's a lot of tooling work going on, making it easier for people to push out smart contracts. But in that vein, a lot of this, application level stuff should be pushed to layer 2. And so we've got, work on Ethereum-based sidechains now. So I think from a dApp developer's standpoint, someone who is, used to writing Solidity and really likes that straightforward development experience in terms of just writing something that looks like JavaScript, pushing it to the chain, create an application. We're not there yet. If somebody is more of kind of a low-level developer, they could do Bitcoin development, or Rust is the dominant smart contracting language now, which is kind of an improved C++. So kind of like a systems level engineer or someone who's kind of more advanced, I would say the time is now for them to jump in. But as far as dApp developers go, we're still kind of building up to the point that it's very easy to onboard those people the way that they can expect, say, in Ethereum today.
Okay. And then when is it going to be ready for people to start building applications on?
I would say we have significant progress by the end of the year.
Okay. All right. And why, if I want to build, I don't know, what would I want to build? I don't want to build anything, so I'm struggling to think of something. But if I wanted to build a dApp, right? Why would I choose the Nervos platform versus Cardano or Ethereum or Komodo or any of the others, VSys?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think in this environment of thousands of blockchains, yeah, why pick this particular one? It's a really tough question to answer, kind of from my end. But I think there's really a few things that make Nervos unique. So we have the virtual machine, which is based on an actual computing instruction set. So this really opens up the range of tools that we can access and the range of programming languages that can be used to build on Nervos.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I guess then talk about layer 2 of we want this to be scalable kind of out of the box. Like a lot of the the reasons why maybe it's hard for me to answer that question today is we really want to get the how people are building. We want that to be sound from day one. We don't want to kind of get everyone excited about the blockchain and then a lot of people come in and a year later all of a sudden it's congested and unusable. Like that would not be a good outcome for us. So I think if someone wants to find a place where their application will run the same way that it runs today, say 3 years from now, I think it's a good time to start putting in the legwork there. I think if I was a developer building on Ethereum today, would I build to target ETH1 or ETH2? I think most people are kind of targeting the scaling solutions for ETH1 now, unless they're just pushing out some sort of DeFi contract. But a lot of people who are serious about application development on Ethereum are targeting these scaling solutions.
Hold on a second. Yeah. Can you hear the crow in the background?
No. Okay. I hear it from time to time watching your videos.
No, it comes out in the afternoon. Okay, there was just a plane going over.
It was a great place to kind of follow up question, move on to the next question, go down the rabbit hole.
That's right. Sorry, no, there was a plane going on overhead, right? So let's just pause and let me ask you the question again from the beginning, okay?
Okay.
Crows? Do you know crows?
Yeah, I'm saying there's the crow. Yeah.
Crows can count. You know that?
No, I did not know that.
Seriously, they're in terms of their intelligence, they're on a par with dolphins.
Really?
Yeah. They got tool
use. What do they use it for, though? Like, what is
they're incredibly social. The way that they talk to each other, they recognize faces.
Yeah.
They have mind-mindedness, which is that they know that the other crow is thinking something or that has a separate mind. They can also recognize themselves in a mirror. There's the New Caledonian crow that uses tools to make tools to get food.
Wow. Tools to make tools. That's another layer of development, right?
That's right. They have a second layer. First layer, second layer. Tool making. And chimpanzees don't do that. Human beings do that. I'll use a lathe. Right? Sorry?
The Bronze Age was like an evolution like that. We're making tools. Yeah.
Making tools to make tools, right? So New Caledonian crows do that. The other thing I want to say about the crows, what was it? So they can count. I can't remember what else it was. They're incredibly smart. incredibly smart. So let's say I want to build an application.
Yeah.
Why would I use Nervos to build the application on versus going to Ethereum or Komodo or Skycoin or Cardano or any of the other neo platform protocols? Why Nervos?
I think you're kind of making a bet on an ecosystem. I think the virtual machine of Nervos is it's an actual computing instruction set. It's RISC-V. It's it's actually hardware that runs.